Hi, Dharma Circle. Swati here, the Embodied Dharma Coach. Happy Navratri! This is the most sacred time of year in the Vedic calendar and in nature's cycles and rhythms. And so today I'm going to share a little bit about why this is such an important time, not only for your body and for healing, but also for your dharmic path. This is a powerful moment in time for your dharma. And when we miss this opportunity, it can radically shift the way that we walk our path in the cycles to come. So let's make the most of this time and bring our body, our spiritual connection, and our wisdom to the forefront right now. Pause, check, listen, lean in so that you can really harvest the power of this time. So Navratri is a sacred gap in the seasons, and we have multiple Navratris throughout the year actually in the Vedic calendar. Spring and fall are the most important, the most significant. The fall Navratri is actually considered the most powerful. It is Maha Navratri, great Navratri. And so when we honor this sacred gap, we really get the fruits, the benefits of the sacred junction point. This is the week to really pause and check in with your body. We're in the final days of Durga. As of today, we're moving into Lakshmi and honoring the wisdom and the power of Lakshmi. Mahanavratri occurs from October 15th to the 23rd this year. So if you are celebrating and if you're observing this sacred time, this is the 10-day window to be cleansing and slowing down, meditating, taking care of your body. The doors are open, if you will, with the spirit realms, and it's considered the time when the veil is very thin between the material world and the spiritual world. So we can access spirit in a very different way right now than the rest of the year. And that is very significant, especially for Dharma, but particularly with your ancestors and spiritual guidance and wisdom. So we don't want to neglect this time. This should not be an outer time. This should be an inward time, harvesting the wisdom and the messages that are coming through your body and through nature, most importantly. So this is about honoring the natural time, of course. But what's happening in nature is happening in your own body. And what's happening in your body, we can see this in nature as well. So at this time of fall in the northern hemisphere, the sap is running and nature is already flowing. She's naturally flowing. And we want to support that flow, that release, that movement. This is a powerful time to do your grief work. You may notice that grief is naturally moving. Of course, from an Ayurvedic perspective, we're cleansing right now. We're eating simply. We're allowing the body to release naturally because it already is. So what we're doing is we're enhancing and supporting that natural tendency, that movement, that release that nature is doing already. And our bodies want to do this. So your job, your role is to just encourage that, support it, do the things that will enhance and support this movement, this release. At this junction point and during this sacred 9 days, it ends on the 10th day with Vijayadashmi. But this 9-day cycle is really about Durga battling the demon Mahishasura. Now, typically with Vedic knowledge and wisdom, people really think in terms of metaphor, like this is a metaphor for how things are happening in the world or what is happening on the dharmic path. But actually, from a Vedic perspective, these aren't metaphors. This is reality. And it's just like Lord Ram. He's not a metaphor. He actually lived. He was in a body in this existence on the earth plane. Same with Lord Krishna. These are not metaphors. These are not stories. They actually happened. And now we have this body of wisdom, and so many ways to learn and grow as a result of these stories. It's the same with the battle between Durga and Mahishasura. This is not a metaphor. It is a metaphor, and it's also not a metaphor. This is happening within our own bodies. It's happening within nature. It's happening now. If you are paying attention, you are likely noticing that your body, your path, you are encountering something important right now at this time in body and life. My experience with Navratri is that I always start confronting something very dharmic on my path before Navratri begins, and then it starts to intensify during this cycle, and then it finds resolution after. But when we're in the heat of the battle, it can feel very intense. So we're in this 9-day battle. Durga battling the demon, Mahishasura. He's a Rakshasa. He's not even just your average demon. He is an extreme demon. This is an expression of the light battling the darkness, the divine feminine battling the darkness, the illusion, the Maya, the parts of ourselves that are not in right relationship with Dharma. Durga is a powerful expression of Dharma, that which is the purpose of our soul. This is not easy work. This is not the simple path. This requires tenacity. It requires our commitment. It requires consistency, dedication. Literally, this is the duty of our soul. And you may notice right now that you are in some sort of conflict or really facing the duty of your soul right now. What is that? And in this process of transformation that we're going through right now, there will be change. There will be some clearing. There will be some release so that there is a clarity, a resolution, a movement, or a momentum towards the new as this transition point occurs. This particular Navratri is especially potent, powerful, even dramatic, we could say. And the reason for that is it's coinciding with an eclipse cycle. At the same time, Rahu and Ketu are poised to change signs for the next year and a half. And we're feeling that intensity right now. We also have multiple planets conjunct in Libra as Rahu and Ketu are leading these signs, Libra and Aries. We have this stalemate of planets happening in Libra. Sun, Ketu, Mercury, we have this dynamic of, we have Mars there as well. We have this dynamic of heat and pressure and intensity happening in the sign of Libra, which is about duality, relationship, co-creation, and balance ultimately. So this is a lot as we go through this transition point and we shift into a very different cycle with the shadow nodes. When we're in an eclipse cycle, we are being asked to do our shadow work. There's no doubt about it. Often shadow work shows up during Navratri anyway, because shadow work is deeply connected to dharmic work, and the attraction repulsion dynamic is at play in our dharmic work and on our dharmic path. So in this cycle of Navratri, we have an intensification of that process through the eclipse cycle. The eclipses are awakening and opening us to our shadow, confronting fear, illusion, doubt, parts of ourselves that don't feel worthy or good enough. This can impact us in a lot of different ways depending on the way that the nodes impact your natal chart and what houses they're activating. It's important to recognize that when we start an eclipse cycle with a solar eclipse, like we've done with this new moon, this is bringing to the light issues with the masculine and power, father's lineage. So shadow work that comes from the masculine as well as father's lineage. Sun issues, quite literally. We'll close the eclipse cycle. It's always a 2-week cycle. Sometimes they come in pairs of 3. And then we have 6 weeks. We have an extended eclipse cycle. We don't have that this year, thankfully. There's enough intensity as it is. But we'll close this cycle with a penumbral lunar eclipse. And that brings to light more of the emotional, feminine mother issues that bring challenge and bring illusion. So we're in this process of transformation and change anyway. And then the eclipse portal brings another level of intensity, shadow work, psycho-emotional body work that's required. This is a grief cycle. Do your grief work, do your ancestral work. It's all connected to Dharma. You cannot do dharmic work if you are not doing shadow work, grief work, ancestral work, trauma work. It's part of the path. And so just remembering that this process that we're in is about healing. It's about transformation. It's about awakening. It's about clearing and releasing so we have space to receive the clarity, the insights, the wisdom for the dharmic path. And as the nodes shift and Rahu moves into Pisces and Ketu into Virgo, we have this new flavor of shadow work that we're being asked to do. And I'll do a class on that next week where I'll go in depth about this transit. So I won't say so much right now about this, but it's very much about spiritual work and grounding that in the material world. And that's what we're moving towards. And you may be noticing these changes already because when we have a major transit, like a Rahu Ketu transit, we'll actually be experiencing this weeks in advance. If not months, there'll be inklings of it. So be paying attention to what's showing up, what's coming to your awareness. What are you navigating? What are you transitioning through right now? What's awakening for you in body, in life, and on the path? This is the time to do the healing work. So the first 3 days of Navratri are for Durga. We've passed through that now. We're coming into the 3 days dedicated to Lakshmi. So when we're in Durga, we're in confrontation mode. This is about uprooting and cleansing and confronting and being head on direct with what is it that we're battling right now. The next 3 days of Lakshmi are a bit more about the healing portion, the transition point, the abundance, the nurturing required for the healing process to take place. We're honoring Lakshmi at this time. We're honoring all 3 goddesses, of course, but for the 3 days of Lakshmi, we dedicate our offerings and our gratitude to her and her nature. And then we go into 3 days dedicated to Goddess Saraswati, who gives knowledge and understanding and wisdom. And this is where you may start to notice new awareness showing up, new insights and creativity. And she's really the Rasayana, the healing balm that supports our knowledge and wisdom on the path. And so we're honoring her and giving our gratitude to her. All 3 goddesses, the triple Devi or the tri-Devi, Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, they are expressions of Shakti, life force energy. And that's really what this battle is all about, is Durga's battle with how are we using our life force? How are we using our life force? Your dharmic path requires that you are in right relationship with your life force energy, that you're putting your life force energy into that which nourishes your soul, that has purpose and meaning for your soul duty in this life, in this body, on this path. This is a path of wholeness. This is a path of nourishment and contentment and success and prosperity, as much as it is a path of showing up, doing the labor, the effort, and committing to the steps that are required in order for lasting, sustainable results. That could be your healing work. That could be sharing your gifts and wisdom in this world. This could be your ancestral work. There are so many ways and so many layers to this path, but it's not a complacent path. It is not a soul avoidant path. It requires tenacity, commitment, and above all, at this time of Kali Yuga, this time of darkness, Dharma requires courage. Your courage to commit, your courage to declare that this is the most important thing on your path, in your life, for your body, to commit to your Dharma. There's no other path. There's no plan B. That takes courage. It takes willingness. And so, for those of you who have committed to your dharmic path, this is a time, Navratri is the sacred time of deepening that commitment to your soul work, deepening your commitment to the work required in order to walk this path of Dharma. Again, it's not for everyone, not at this time of Kali Yuga. It's too easy to be complacent or avoid the soul. It's too easy to numb and avoid the work and the effort required. It's too easy to get distracted or just go work a day job, clock in, clock out, do whatever it takes to get by. That is not the dharmic path. This is a path that requires commitment and tenacity and courage, and it's not the easy path. So use this time wisely. Use this time to heal, to tend to your body, to listen to your body wisdom. Slow down. We don't get this wisdom and these insights from staying busy and pushing and pushing. We get this knowledge and wisdom from within when we slow down, when we pause, when we allow the nervous system to settle. So your meditation, your pranayama, your yoga, all these practices are your Ayurvedic work, your Jyotish, use Jyotish at this time. All these different paths of the Vedas are powerful ways to awaken the soul clarity within your body and your knowing, so that you're crystal clear, you're focused, and you don't lose sight of the truth. That's what Vedic knowledge supports us with. It keeps us connected to truth, satya, and that we are walking a path that is true for our own body and soul. That is Dharma. Use this time for strengthening this truth within your body. What is true for you? What is true for your soul? What do you know without a shadow of a doubt to be true? And then do the work that supports this clarity, this truth, this light, this jyoti within. It's especially challenging at this time because of the eclipse cycles and the amount of shadow taking place right now. But with commitment and willingness, it's so possible to have the insights and the wisdom. Remember, the veil is thin right now. so we can access the spirit world and the wisdom of the spirit world very easily right now. Listen, ask your ancestors to guide you and support you at this time. They're here to help you. It's why 2 weeks of Pitra Paksh comes before the 9 days of Mother Divine, because the ancestors are helping us on our dharmic path. They're actually required in order for Dharma to take place. We can't have Dharma without the ancestors. So allow them to support you at this time and to strengthen your path and your purpose. Ask for their guidance, feed them, and give your praises and your gratitude, as well as your grief and the parts of you that are in fear or struggle or doubt. Offer this as well. The ancestors are here to support you in this process. So, honoring the divine feminine, feeding the goddess at your altar, feeding the goddess at your altar, which is your body, awakening the divine feminine through food, through practice, through chanting, through song, through your spiritual practices, and slow down and listen. I'll share more about the Rahu Ketu transit next week. We are in for a major shift that will impact the next year and a half. Do the work now so that you have the clarity, the insight, the commitment to move forward into this next cycle. When we miss the opportunity of doing this, I think of it like a spiritual cleanse right now during Navratri. We stay disconnected from our purpose and our dharmic work for cycles to come. It's just like from an Ayurvedic perspective. If we miss this opportunity to cleanse the body right now when the channels are open and awake and the sap is running, we have to wait until next fall to do this level of work again. It doesn't happen for another year. So use your time wisely. Sacred gap. It has purpose and meaning. Pause, listen, notice, and share with us along the way. You're welcome to share in the group or here in the chat. What are you noticing at this sacred junction point on the path? How are the goddesses, the divine feminine, impacting you right now? Are you in some sort of inner conflict or outer conflict that is intensifying right now? We are getting insights along the way, intensified insights because of the eclipse portal and also because of the nodes changing signs. And this theme will continue in the coming weeks and months. And I'll share more about what to expect from a dharmic level, from a spiritual embodied level next week with Rahu and Ketu. For now, tend to your body, take care of your body. We are in a very sensitive cycle with debilitated sun. Sun is always debilitated at this time of year. Another reason to go within and take care of the body and rest, get plenty of rest. And then we have Venus going debilitated next as well. And when we move into November, we're in a very delicate cycle for the body that requires great care and patience and rest, and really making sure that you're honoring the needs of the body and not overexerting yourself. If you're wanting more support at this time for body and dharma, and you want to do your dharmic work in an embodied way with the wisdom of Jyotish, comment Jyotish below and I'll share with you my self-study program, which is a process of you studying your Jyotish chart in an embodied way and getting my personal support in that process. And this is about strengthening your Dharma from a Jyotish perspective. This is a powerful time to do this Jyoti work. So awakening the light of the soul. This is the purpose of Jyotish. If you'd like to have this Jyoti support, this awakening of the light of your soul, comment Jyotish below, and I will follow up with you and give you information about this process that I call Dharma Foundations, laying the foundation for your dharmic path using embodied Vedic astrology and my dharmic resources and tools. I have 4 spots available right now in this process. So if you'd like to take one of these spots and join us in this process of self-study and awakening Jyoti in body and soul, comment Jyotish below. Happy Navratri, everyone. Many blessings to you and your ancestors, and may the light of your Dharma carry you through this dark time. Stay committed and connected to your path, your purpose, and the wisdom of your soul. And I look forward to sharing more resources and tools with you along the way. Jai Ma.